This is the third unit from our Social Studies 10 Geography unit. This information can also be found in your Horizons textbook in Chapter 3, pages 104 to 107. The other thing I'd like to mention is this lesson, you will need to use the pause function again, only because there are several activities in here that you'll need to spend some time on. All right, let's get started. So this first page here, actually I've missed the title page. There's your title page. And this is the first activity. And as you can see, the first thing you need to do is to read pages 104 to 107. Please do that now. Once you've done reading, the next thing you need to do is grab a copy of these notes that are based on those pages. And again, you'll want to pause to make sure that you get all that. All right, the second activity is on this slide as well. And you need to go to page 105 of your Horizons textbook and you need to answer the following questions. The third activity on this slide is at the bottom here where you need to complete some climagraphs. The worksheet number 1 is the actual graph sheet with the questions on it. Worksheet number 2 has the information that you'll need to complete the graphs. Once you're done, come see me and I'll give you a copy of the answer key. Here are our lesson objectives. The first is that students will learn the difference between weather and climate. The other is that they'll learn about the changes and effects on weather and climate and how weather and climate vary from place to place. And then the last thing is that you'll learn about the water cycle. In fact, actually, let me scroll down here. Yeah, students will also learn about orographic, convectional, and frontal precipitation. So needless to say, this is a very full lesson. First thing I'd like you to do is, as a class, brainstorm the meanings of the words weather and climate and provide examples of both. The next thing I'd like you to do is, what are the 4 processes of the water cycle? Write down your responses in the space provided. And there's your answer. The next slide asks us a question. Seasons result from the Earth's axis rotating throughout the year, following direct sunlight to fall on different areas at different times. Is that true or false? The answer is true. Now, the next thing I need you to do is to know what these vocabulary terms are. So take a second and write down your answers. The next slide is going to give us some information about weather and climate. I'm not going to read this, but I will leave it up here for your reading pleasure. Same thing with this slide. There is information here that you do need to read. Again, if the slides are going too fast, feel free to pause it. Again, some more information. And again, some more information. The next activity is an interactive activity, so I would pause now and see if you could put those four parts of this water cycle into the correct spots. Here's another visual of what the water cycle looks like with definitely some more detail. Now, with that being said, now we need to revisit what we had written about our definitions about weather and climate. So write your responses down again and see if you have changed your mind. Complete the sentences on this slide. You are to complete the sentences by dragging the correct word in the appropriate blanks. Same thing here. Drag the words, see if you can answer the questions. Here on this one, you are expected to match the regions by drawing a line to whichever one matches up. And this is what you should have had. Now for this one, we don't have the smart response clickers, but I do have the answer covered up. So please take a look at the question and answer to the best of your ability. Same thing with this one. Now the last little bit here expects us to be able to label these diagrams. On the right hand side are the wording that you need to use. You need to be able to put it into the appropriate section in this diagram. And this is what you should have had. The next one is conventional precipitation, same thing. On the right is the wording. If you could put it into the diagram, that would be great. And this is what you should have had. Last but not least, frontal precipitation, same thing. And these are the answers. Now the next slide asks us to do a smart response quiz. I will put that on the following lesson.